ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Banya. Today we've got our co-host, Dana Lundquist. We've also got a special guest in the corner, Joey Wilson, hanging out with us today. And then we've got Jesse. What's your last name? Moreng. Yeah. Owner of
Optimyze.
And
Diversified Landscape.
Yeah. Nice.
All right.
Well, it gets your body and your yard looking good, I guess, right? Nice. Well, Dana, you could probably do a better intro.
Yeah.
So if you want to.
Yeah, sure. Well, you got the Optimyze owner piece of that, but you're also a blue belt, I believe, right? BJJ.
Yeah.
So that's how we got connected through Gray Wolf, now Aries PV. Besides that, that's all we got. We're gonna learn more about you right now.
Yeah.
So
I got two stripes.
You get two stripe blue belt.
Yeah.
All right.
Been a long time with that blue belt.
Yeah.
I gotta get back on it. Yeah.
When did you start doing jiu-jitsu?
I had my first, my very first jiu-jitsu class, and it doesn't really count as starting though. Back in, 2001 maybe.
Okay.
It was like a club at while I was wrestling. So it was a club, and I was like super interested, and then I was mostly doing wrestling. So I probably started, most of my MMA, I really did a lot of no-gi training. Mm-hmm. So I stayed at a blue belt, but I was grappling every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been on and off, since 2005, really. A lot of no-gi and then a little bit of gi.
Plans to get back in at Aries? Or?
Yeah. I keep having these hopes, and, I was showing you guys my clavicle.
Yeah.
What seems to happen is that I feel great, and then I'll get some pressure a certain way.
Wiggle that thing
and
for
then,
Joey.
Yeah. Yeah. So this will go this side of me. It'll go. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I gotta be careful of the pressure.
Yeah.
Once I'm there,
absolutely.
And so sometimes if there's some high tension,
Can
there'll
we get
be
that
something
thing bolted down, or
we got it. I think that's eventually gonna have to happen, but we'll see. So I come back, for my love of just martial arts and grappling and just moving and connecting, and then I tweak. So I'm really trying. I think I'm gonna come back and really focus on drilling, and just totally. For me, it's not. Of course, I don't like losing or being, but I just can't. I just gotta drop that competitiveness and just really do it for the love of learning, and maybe try to figure out how to do it without hurting myself.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, that's the name of the game, is just longevity. Just try and do it as long as possible without hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Which is gonna happen, but try and maintain that as long as possible.
Yeah.
So what? You said that was 2001. Right?
2001, yeah. I was dabbling. I just got exposed to it. And then really when I, during my fight, I fought from 2002 to 2009.
Okay.
My first MMA fight, 2002, 2003. And then, so I was training, quite a bit, a few times a day, and really taking it pretty seriously, balancing work at the same time, because I was getting paid after a few years. I had a sponsor, so I was really proud of that. I was I'm getting a little bit of money to train, and then the purses back then were at first for the first I had to pay my medicals, and then leading up I moved back east and fought with a team, Tiger Schulman.
Okay.
And they had you'd have to sell your tickets, so I'd sell 50 or 100 tickets. I'd make maybe a couple grand on the fights, and then maybe after 5 or 6 fights I got a few sponsors, and then we were getting 500 or 1,000 a show, 1,000 to win, 2,000 to show, 2,000 to win. That was my highest purse,
Wow.
at the time. So of course you can't be. I was trying to train full time and be like a professional athlete, but it wasn't paying the bills. So I was always doing something else, and but I really wasn't focused on the sport or the art of jiu-jitsu. It was really more. I really appreciated it, and I saw it work and saw the benefits, but a lot of times I felt like I had to pick or choose. Am I going to do gi or no gi? Because I was working, I was training. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times I would just do no gi. So it wasn't until probably 2010, 11 that I got back into it, really started training with the gi and trying to like embrace my weaknesses, you know, with instead of hand control, learning to grab the gi, and I'm still very beginner at that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, super fun. Well, tell us about Optimyze. So, it's a recovery wellness spot. How would you describe it?
Yeah,
So broad strokes.
I mean, first of all, this is the best podcast I've ever been on. I mean, Sauna, I heard. I've known Dana for a bit, but I didn't know you guys were doing this yet, and heard about it. And of course, I take a sauna every day, pretty much every day, 5 days a week at least. So, yeah, this is the best spot right here. But yeah, Optimyze, was really born out of a desire to help people, really empower people. You been there?
I've been there a lot.
Okay, yeah, I think I might have met you.
Probably.
I definitely met you in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew I recognized you.
Yeah.
And you were was Brady in? Maybe? No.
Somebody's charging their motorcycle.
I've seen. You've had like Helen Maroulis in there.
Yeah, I was just telling these guys about Helen.
Yeah.
We have some.
That's the girl from Bay area.
No, but she's like an Olympic champ and stuff. Helen. Yeah.
Sure, she's not from like Concord area.
She might be.
Yeah, one of the two women won gold this year, and one of them was from the Bay.
Some of the couple of the younger Olympians are from the Bay, but I don't think
the other girl was from Indiana.
Victoria Anthony's from OC. She's like out here. I think she is. Who knows?
Vicky Vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were saying about Optimyze, is talking about like
Yeah.
where that
So.
came from, or
Yeah. So. In 2017, I was at a rough point with my career. I had my landscape business. I started in 2008, mostly commercial maintenance focused, and I trained a lot, was a professional fighter, was just dedicated a lot of my life to wrestling, and just focused that energy in a physical way, and then I kind of almost had like a midlife crisis when I was like in my early 20s, just what I was going to do next, because I had spent so much time focused on this. I hadn't really thought too much given to like what was next. So I started this landscape business. I knew I didn't want to work on my own, but after a few years, like 5 years, I just got really complacent and was still trying to train, but I wasn't, 2011, 12, I wasn't fighting. I lost that outlet and was like searching for something else, and had 2 kids and just really, really complacent. And so, I met Wim Hof and his method with the breath work and the cold exposure. And I had done ice baths, at Boston University as a collegiate wrestler and other places, but I had never done them in like an intentional kind of meditative way that was more just about like getting less sore, just about the physical body, So it took on a new meaning as like a new type of training. And so with the breath work, man, it just changed my life. It got me to the best place I had felt in decades. And so we started to meet a lot of people in that community. I'd been doing saunas my whole life. I was looking around the country for places. Like if I'd go back east, I have family back east. We go visit the city, in New York City, and there was some places that were athletically focused for recovery, but I hadn't seen any place that was non-sports focused, non-physical focused, and really like, working on like almost like a martial art for healing and using these natural-based therapies, just the elements of nature. So everything we did, so we started to come up with, ideas and pull things together. We looked at some other places, but we wanted to do something different. And really we brought in saunas, cold water, hot water, red light therapy, lymphatic drainage, and then magnetic therapy.
What's
PEMF.
lymphatic drainage?
It's just air compressing, and it moves the lymph in the lungs. So you've seen those sleeves you pull out, the Normatex. They're pretty popular now. So
are those painful to do?
No.
Okay.
No, unless you have, if you have some type of inflammation or injury, for sure they can be. But no, if you're sensitive, you get some people that are super sensitive, and we just put it on a lower level. But they move the lymph. They just flush circulation, and I think so the whole place was born like to really adapt to stress. I saw that in my life and with my family members, stress and being not in alignment with whatever was in their life was causing stress or how they were dealing with stress. And then that was manifesting in disease or depression or anxiety. And so I just started to see like how powerful these therapies that many other people, I mean, they're ancient, they're not new, you know, many other societies and cultures have used. And we want to just offer it in a community environment, not like separate little saunas and separate rooms all together. And then what are the most high impact therapies that we could put in here for the most value and still keeping it like affordable, so we could actually have memberships that weren't $800 a month, you know.
Right.
That was more of our vision, like for the masses, but still people that value their health. It's not going to be free, but you know, you're either going to pay now or you're going to pay, you know, the doctor later or the surgeon.
Offset
and so
that cost.
yeah. So Optimyze was born. You know, the first one 6 years ago was a trial. It was like I believed in it, but I mean, almost everybody I knew was like, wait, dude, you have like a successful commercial landscape business, been operational. There's so much possibility here. Like, what are you doing? Like doing ice baths, like for a business. Like, it's crazy. You know, they would say stuff like that. My certain family from New Jersey would be like, well, what are you doing? Like, Wim Hof, like you're going in your cold in underwear, like you're crazy. Like, what, you know, what kind of attention are you seeking? Maybe is what they thought. I don't know. But
it's definitely picked up in the last 3 or 4 years. Cold plunging and the benefits of that, and sauna and just everything. So I think you hit it right at the right point, which was great for Optimyze, I'm sure. So, and you have how many locations?
We have 3 locations.
3, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there's North Phoenix up off of what? Greenway or
30,
Thunderbird?
Thunderbird. Yeah, right down the street, 32nd and Thunderbird.
Okay.
You guys have free passes to come in. You got a free pass as well. I know you've been there before, which is cool. Yeah. But it's just so fun, man. People, I mean, it's just mostly a positive, like growth-minded, like supportive, empowering type of individual that comes to us typically. Yeah. You know, for the large part. So you don't get too many victims and that victim mentality, like going in and getting themselves in freezing water.
Yeah.
You know, on a weekly basis.
You have to seek discomfort in order to even walk through the door. So,
yeah.
So tell us about, like, somebody comes in there for the first time, or what would be the optimal way to go in and use your different therapies you guys offer? What would you recommend for it?
For sure. I love that question because I've been experimenting with this long and just, you know, I try to read up on all the science and what people are saying. And so for us too, one of the major things, a lot of people will seek us out just for cold plunges, or they're like, I just want a cold bath, you know, like you can do that. But when you do your drop-in, you get like 7 different therapies. So why not just do them all? Like give it a shot, you know? So, so you get mostly all the things we offer every time you come in, for the most part. There's a few little caveats to that on the length, but the perfect session, what you asked about. So we invested in a pulse PEMF device, and this is a powerful magnetic impulse that hits the body, and it really improves the efficiency and the cellular energy of the cells, like at a very fast rate. So not only could it heal like injuries or traumatized areas in the body at a faster rate, you know, it helps you heal them. It just speeds up the cellular ATP process. So that is the perfect start to the hour-long session. The 70-minute session is doing that for 10 minutes. It primes the cells to actually be operating at a higher level to receive the benefits of the other therapies. And then like the red light, I typically go PEMF, compression, although I have to admit, you know, having a bunch of businesses and kids, I suffer from the hurry mentality, you know, and so I'm like, man, I got to get out of here by this time. So I sometimes I skip compression, and giving myself the recommendation to be like, you know, I would say to myself, do that, like sit down for 10 minutes, even if you can't do 20 minutes, sit down for 10 minutes in a chair and don't do anything, you know, and that's some of my work, you know, I'm always going, like, I just like to work hard and get things done, but I got to chill and settle in. Yeah. Hence, I think why the cold water suits a lot of people, you know,
it's quick
across, and it's quick, and it gets you out of your head and into your body, kind of resets you. So compression, I would recommend to most people after that. And then sauna, you know, sauna. And then from there, cold water therapy. We guide people. We give people a lot of tools. Like you guys are, there's a lot of us that are like, you don't got to tell us. Like we've been, we got the willpower, we got the discipline, we know the benefits, we're going to do it. But there's a lot of people that like, shit, that's like, why the F am I going to get in freezing water? Like they really need to know why they got to do it. And also some guidance, they haven't been through, it's just different, and a lot of people, men, especially we find out of, the thousands and thousands of people that I've coached through the cold, and, a lot of the people come in and typically the guys that aren't like nervous at all, they're like, oh yeah, I did that. Like, just, I don't need your help. We're like, okay, it's cool. I'm just here to support and like, here's what works for me. Here's what are some things, but do what you like. And, something I'd like to hear, like sometimes our staff will play like sound bowls and stuff, and it's kind of cool. I'll ask them to do it when I go in, cause it just gets you really dropped in.
Sure. Yeah.
So, so we'll help people through that with their breath. So we'll get a lot of first time people in the cold. And going back, not that I just found it interesting, is like a lot of more of the men that go in with utmost confidence then jump out. Yeah. But more the women are more scared before.
Sure.
And then they end up staying in, but there's also a lot of both, most guys go in and they deal with it, but occasionally, every now and then that you see that's fine too. It's like, you just got to get back, like get your nervous system ready. And it's the ultimate training ground for stress, I think. And, dealing with those triggers. And so the cold water, then the hot water, then back to the cold, and then red light therapy for 10 minutes. So the cold primes the cells also for the red light.
Okay.
For your body to receive those waves of the sunlight.
Okay.
So yeah.
What is the preferred breathing method in cold?
So I mean, I would definitely say there's so many different you can do, but I would say overall, I think it's beneficial to start for a long period of time, even stay with breathing really slowly. So getting your breath under control, getting it smooth.
Deep breaths or like normal?
So, there's like a lot of
there's like
discussion about deep breaths. Like, so like in a really nice, amazing breath, you really don't want to fill up 100% because then you're straining the body. So I like to, for myself, get my breath as like natural and light and easy as I can, and inhale. If my nervous system and my breath gets away from me, which sometimes if I go, our units are like 37, but if you go out in nature, you get cold and then you go into like 32-degree water and it's moving. It's like intense. You guys have probably done it, and so even me, and then in those cases, I'll inhale, I'll hold, I kind of gain control, and then exhale out the mouth.
So
inhale,
kind of hyperventilating.
Hold, yeah. So
suck it in.
Yeah. So like it's different for different people, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like you guys are doing it. You're already able to get yourself calm, so there might not be any need to hold your breath. You could play with it, but I like humming too. Humming, stimulating the vagus nerve while I'm in there, really dropping, playing with the different levels of relaxation, relaxing different parts of the body, relaxing, watching what your mind goes to, staying a hold of a mantra, all these things you could practice in a short period of time. And there's like days that it goes out the window. I'm thinking about something. And then some days where I can really drop in, I'll get out of the cold and then close my eyes. And it's like a complete, not like out of body, but like a euphoric spiritual experience where I'm like, holy shit, like I'm alive. And like, what is this? And just can feel every part of my body. And then, so I love the cold water, but that's kind of the routine, the 70-minute routine. If somebody were to come in, I would encourage them to do that routine.
So you do the PEMF, and then from there do the compression, and then get in the cold plunge, and then in the hot tub, so the cold or the hot water. Yeah. And then back in the cold plunge, and then to infrared, or do you do into the sauna at all?
No, infrared. So all this stuff, I mean, like, there's studies that say this and that. So I'm not like hardcore on like, this is have to have it how it was. But from what I've read, and you don't want to combine, if you can avoid combining red light with saunas, because a lot of these saunas are built with the red light.
Sure.
Your body's not your body's like, even just think about it, I think for even the science, but for me, it comes back to just like logics. Like your body's trying to vasodilate and like cool off. It's not receiving, certain things. It's detoxing. It's sending things out. And there's internal, hormetic processes going on. But like you get cold, even your natural feeling, like you want the light, so you can almost feel it at an energetic level.
Yeah.
But then I wasn't surprised. I would do it before I read the science, but there's all, the guy we buy our red light devices from, this is his life, it really helped him with a lot of autoimmune issues. And so he's like, gave a presentation for our whole staff the other week, and it was on just, get cold first or go room temperature to red light. Don't go sauna and then red light.
Right.
Don't go hot tub and then red light.
How long is a good red light session?
It depends on the how close the bulbs and how powerful they are, but usually 10 minutes, like 2 to 10 minutes is good, but the depth, and then also, have you guys seen, some of the local, I'm a member at a few like small gyms around the valley or gym chains like Vasa Fitness, Mountainside. So some of these places have red light therapy, and they're like these big bulbs that are coated with red. So the power, so as you get like more expensive or more higher value, one of the things you'll have, it's not the only thing, is more bulbs. So like our bulbs between both sides, we got 2,400 bulbs, and at a certain wavelength, when you get to the units that are the highest end in the world that are $150,000, they're like tens of thousands of bulbs, and you could direct and change the frequency and things like that, but yeah, red light is great and awesome. But these things are all, what's crazy is they're all just simulating nature. Like these are all pretty much natural things, like hot and cold, and we're just now mimicking this because we live in a city. We don't live like on the river or on the mountain, or right outside. We're working, everything's digitized. We're in a different world now. So I think it is really necessary, but it's also necessary not just to come to Optimyze. Like go outside. You gotta get sunlight. Well, you gotta get,
I was just listening to Gary Brecka talking on podcast today about just almost every single person in the U.S., I don't know I can't remember this percentage, but is lacking in vitamin D. Just from not going outside. Yeah. And just some other things you talk about, like you catching a cold. It's not really a thing to catch a cold, I guess. One of the big reasons people get sick in the wintertime is because lack of vitamin D. So just one of those points. Yeah. Gaining the things you normally get from nature that we just don't get as much anymore because we're inside a lot, or whatever the reason, being in a society that has changed that for us. It's like, like you said, we're now bringing that to the city. All these things that you would get in nature, like jumping in the cold river or whatever.
So, like the guy you mentioned who had some success with some autoimmune issues he was having, is that because the red light messes with your hormones in a positive way?
Yes, indirectly. So I mean, it's powering your cells. It's giving them extra, cellular energy through photons that penetrate the body. And so, that Krebs cycle stuff we learned in high school that I barely remember, and some in college.
I can't at all.
Yeah, it's like some people that matters to. Like, right? I'm like, I like to understand it because it's the industry I'm in, but also it's like, do you feel better? What feels good? Like, do you feel better? I think that's people are also so disconnected from themselves that they can't even tell that. And so I think it's a training, it's like not good, or it's just reality. I have, I'm on my device. I'm on with my businesses. I'm on I feel like I'm on call. I'm constantly communicating and this and that. And it's provided for my family. So it's not like not everybody can, I feel like, or they can choose to live totally in nature and kind of into society. So for that reason, I think, Optimizes are definitely needed. And we really like the people benefit. Now it's getting so popular, and so many people are into it. And, we completely support that. So red light can help with it. For me, it boosted my testosterone. After about 30 days, I retested. And, so, and there's so many nuances, I mean, like even vitamin D and testosterone, sometimes it's a more nuanced thing. Like you might at a certain time of day, it's like your body's smart, so it's going to produce testosterone when you need it. So you're somebody, you guys train and you're exercising, you're like tapping in. A lot of people, most people don't do that. So there's no need for their body to produce testosterone. Like it's actually, your body's actually smart. So the key isn't just injecting testosterone into you, because your body's not producing it for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like that's like missed. It doesn't mean testosterone's bad, you know, but like you should be focused on doing something else that we know can boost testosterone, that we know could lose weight, and then maybe use some of these things if it's in dire strait. You're in pain and you can't sleep and you're fucked up. It might be okay to take a painkiller. It might be the best choice for you so you could sleep. But like, you got to fix like the pain. You can't just stay on the painkiller.
Right.
But I think with a lot of medications, that's I just take this and it's over. It's like, no, dude, you're messing with a lot of shit in your body, and there's going to be consequences.
Yeah, for sure.
Luke's getting a cold plunge.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm talking too. Dang.
Yeah, it makes the time pass by pretty quick, but it's still hot.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't make it, man. Dana can attest that if I was a single father of those three,
wouldn't have a podcast.
I'd be on suicide watch.
Those guys are pretty self-sufficient, though. And how old's the other one?
The twins are 5 and my daughter's 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Did he steal it?
That's right. He told me he was a twin.
Can I get in this podcast next week
jump.
before I leave?
Yeah, for sure, dude.
I think that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Talk about like wrestling and sales and
Yep. No, we definitely got to get you in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it'll be good, dude. Joey and I go way back and did a lot of wrestling together, so that'll be fun.
You guys, what weight class were you guys?
I was 165 in college.
All right.
Just 174 at the end.
Yeah.
What about high school?
Are you almost 200 now? No.
I'm still around. I'm the same as I was.
Oh really?
I'm like 173.
Yeah. You just look buffer, dude.
Oh yeah. Which is surprising, dude. For a while, well, because Barrett fucking tore my
ripped
pec.
Who's Barrett?
One of our buddies.
Okay.
Another wrestler. Yeah, I was out in Austin rolling around with him, and I hadn't been on a mat in like a year and a half, so I just been behind a fucking computer. Ended up tearing my pec in an arm bar. Did the surgery, the whole 9, and then for a while, like, because you can't be that active when you're in a sling. So I was starting to get like a little fluffy. And I probably got up to like 180. I was like, this is not acceptable. So once I could, I started running hill sprints, started lifting again, all the things. And
Back to Shred City.
back to Shred City. Had to fix some gut stuff.
What weight you guys go in high school?
I went. Yeah, we had kind of a similar thing. I started off as a 103 pounder, so I was real
You
little.
were like small, and then you jumped.
Yeah, it was a late bloomer, so my sophomore year I started to get bigger, and I ended at 152. You were 145 or 52?
I didn't know that. I thought you went up above that. Yeah, so I was, but you were a year ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
You were Barrett's age, so I was 119, and then 130, and then 140, and then 152. So I kind of just like a gradual climb.
Did you wrestle?
I did not wrestle.
Yeah.
No.
Football or?
I played lacrosse in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, soccer growing up, and then I started playing lacrosse in 8th grade, and then nothing after. I mean, I was still working out and whatnot in college and after that, but nothing else until I started Jiu-Jitsu about 3 years ago. So when we see the bright lights here, Everett's messing with the lights.
How is that? I was wondering what was going on.
Producer.
He's got the remote out there doing something. So
Pushing buttons. I want to ask you about cold plunging though. So I'm kind of like what you said. I don't know a lot about the science of things. I just kind of like know what feels good to me and what other people recommend and kind of broad stroke stuff. So
thank you.
thanks, Ollie.
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
I was stealing
It's okay. All right. Hey, thanks for visiting. See you guys later. No crying on the podcast.
You guys want to take a cold plunge later? You
Hey,
guys
Ollie,
want a
can you
cold
shut
plunge?
the door? You're letting the cold air out. Or in.
See you guys.
Come on.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Somebody's always upset. Should we splash a little water on those rocks?
Yeah.
Thanks, Joey.
Thanks, Joey.
So yeah,
Cold plunges.
yeah, cold plunges, and honestly, even sauna stuff. But start with the cold plunges. Like, what are your favorite benefits that you see from cold plunge?
Yeah, so my favorite benefits, I find it that keeps me motivated. You know, so it sets the tone for my day, and if I can start it, you know, toward the beginning of the day, it really sets the tone for the day. Really gets me motivated, energized, like just feeling alive.
I can
You know,
that,
yeah.
for sure. When I get in the morning, my days are better, and I'm more motivated. I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a difference. Or, you know, a lot of times I'll miss it in the morning, and at the end of the day, it's just a nice reset. And I could just settle back in and kind of like recalibrate where I want to focus. You know, just such a positive practice. So I would say that's the mental, like, edge and just feeling good and happy. I would say definitely a happier person because of it. And, you know, I think it keeps you toned. Like, even if you don't, I mean, you still got to exercise and work out. But if I don't exercise hardly at all, but I get in like cold water every day, like it just keeps your system working, you know? So it's, obviously you gotta, you know, you should still move your body and stuff, but it's just such a good vascular, training for your veins. And I think it's so healthy for you. So, you know, it can keep you lean too, because you got to warm up. If you don't sauna right after and you let your body heat up naturally, then you're burning a lot of calories and just kind of things are moving. So those are the top ones that come to mind. You know, there are a lot of studies on things like, or I shouldn't say a lot of studies, but there's studies on cancer, you know, potential white blood cell are produced more, and that could, you know, build it feels like it builds
immunity in general,
Yeah.
obviously. Then, right?
Yeah. Dopamine, yeah, which ties to motivation. You know, so
Yeah.
a lot of dopamine,
Gives
adrenaline,
you
so
a
pain
big
relief.
dopamine rush.
Yeah, a lot of pain relief. So you get in there, and that's why we really encourage people to go like fully in, you know, up to their neck, even if it's not super long time. It's more of the that trigger to the nervous system. So you're triggering that fight or flight with
Are
that
you
sympathetic.
hands in or hands out guy?
I do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do both. I went a few years ago. I met this yogi guy who taught me a bunch of hand mudras, you know, and so I mean, there's just a lot of simple ones, but you know, connecting the energy of the body. So I like to actually do this hand mudra when I'm in the water. I leave it above usually. Sometimes I'll go in. My hands, you know, I do have got some crazy poor circulation in my hands. It's gotten better with the cold water, but I still tend to, my hands get a little bit colder than the rest of my body.
It's a big difference. Like when I keep my hands out, it's way, way easier for sure. If I put my hands in, it's like that 5 minutes is like a lifetime.
Yeah. You do it, your 5 minutes is your...
I do 5 minutes, yeah, when I do it, get in the morning. And I have mine set to 45 degrees right now. So it's a good temperature. If I do any lower than that, then I'll drop it down to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. You guys have what, the blue cube? Is that the one that's got like the rushing water?
Yeah.
That's intense too. Mine is just still. I mean, I've got a pump pumping the water through, but it's not like anything intense. But that's insane. Where
there's
the water's constantly moving, where there's no thermal barrier you're creating.
It moves really slow, but then they made this jet option. So you turn the jet on, and it's pretty brutal. Yeah. And I haven't actually, I think I'm going to have to man up and do that tomorrow, but I haven't done it in a few months. And so you could sit across. You don't want to sit right on the jet.
Yeah.
And it blasts you in the back, but you sit across and you either go legs together and like block the thing, or open and it hits you right, freezes your nuts, freezes the testicles. So it's pretty brutal, but yeah, you don't need as much, and that's 30. That one's 37 degrees. We have one at 50 degrees and one at 42 at the North Phoenix. The other two locations, we got 2 cold plunges, and they're usually 42, 37. So anything under that 59 degrees, you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
But the colder you get, the more like dopamine, the more norepinephrine your body releases. So it is like medicine for the body. So reduces pain, reduces inflammation, natural antidepressant, so many things benefit. We get a lot of people from addiction recovery. We have people, I do a lot of training. I'm deep into breath work, really love learning about the breath and how you can do different things with it, and how you can change your state. You can train to eliminate certain issues with health and things like that, like asthma. So there's a bunch of breath, like modalities that I study. But where I was going with that is that what were we talking about? The breath. I was going somewhere with the breath work.
The cold plunge.
Oh, so yeah. So something I've been doing for years now is I go to. I'm lucky enough. I go lead a class at this horse ranch in North Scottsdale, and they have a 8-week cohort for first responders, medically discharged individuals. I believe it's mostly medically discharged, or at least individuals that they're just suffering with some health challenge. I think there's probably a wide range. There's probably some that aren't, but a lot of them, they've been through a lot of crazy stuff and really traumatic stuff.
So like PTSD.
Yeah, dispatchers, war veterans, fire, police, SWAT. So we take them on their one of their final weeks. I come in and I lead like a 3-hour, 2-hour, 3-hour thing where we do breath work on the breath to go into that stress response, and really it's kind of like the opposite of the cold plunge. Like you're breathing in a connected way and really drawing up stress. But short story long is the cold plunge for many and certain breath work, right? It uncovers and brings subconscious thoughts to the surface. And so it's part of people's healing journey to really start to become aware of some of the things they've repressed and stuffed down. And so a lot of this, the breath work and the cold can be used in these higher, I don't want to say higher healing, but in like deep healing work, And so addicts, I feel like, I'm an adrenaline junkie, and I was addicted to that adrenaline, and a lot of us love adrenaline, and so you can now get it with cold water, and you can still get it other safe ways, but if you're trying to seek that rush through through drugs, or you're coming off substances, it's a really nice natural tool that helps.
Mountain bike riding.
Yeah, exactly.
Rock climbing.
Exactly, yeah. You do that? You guys mountain bike, rock climb too?
No.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, mountain bikes, crazy.
I was just listing other unhealthy adrenaline addictions.
Yeah. Oh, this is nice and toasty. This probably got to be like 180, 190, 200.
The temperature, you're right, it sometimes lights up.
Yeah.
It's over 200.
Yeah, just over 2.
Yeah.
We're cooking. You need another dip?
No, I'm good for a little bit.
All
yeah,
right.
I like to push it. I skipped my sauna today for you guys.
All right.
I was like, I know these guys go. It's a toasty sauna, so
good.
We almost died Sunday when we were doing that Russian Banya.
Oh, I bet.
I did a sauna with my wife. I gave her a massage at like 5, and then they came over at 6, and we got the Banya rolling, and RB nearly fried us, one of our other jiu-jitsu buddies. Yeah. He kept just sitting down there with a bucket of water, and like literally our skin was cooking. We had to roll out of here.
Yeah.
But it I was kind of out for like a couple days, honestly. Just didn't like. I probably should have gone over and cold plunge.
Yeah,
That would have brought me back.
Luke
Yeah,
still hasn't done it. He's got to do a cold plunge.
Oh, yeah.
That's like
we got.
for 5 minutes.
I love to
yours.
schedule.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah,
You did
yeah.
mine. That's right.
Actually,
that's
I had an amazing experience with him. I was feeling super crummy. Like my stomach hurt. I had a headache. I was just like tired, and
Yeah.
I went over to his house and did 5 minutes, and I was like better than new. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was an amazing experience with like anecdotally, right?
Yeah.
What that did for me, I was just like, wow. Hated it, but
Yeah.
felt amazing, and for like the rest of the day, I was just feeling great.
Yeah. While we're still on the topic of cold plunges, it's like the one of the things that I try to work with myself and others that do it. It's like the idea of like surrendering for me used to be like surrendering was like give up, It was like give up. But then as I started to hear this word, I'm like, what are they talking about? Surrender. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, why are you surrendering? Yeah, like no. But anyway, letting go, surrendering, as I matured, a little bit and started to realize it's like how we let go of our breath, how we let go of the moment allows us to go to the next moment and stay present. So one of the things in the ice bath I really like to do, it's like you try to get really in the moment, not drift off. Like in college, they used to have the TV on, and I used to go in the ice bath and go and just watch and try to totally like dissociate from the experience. So what we try to do now is just encourage people to like drop in with it, like feel the discomfort,
enjoy that,
and then just try to let it go each moment. Try to accept the things you can't control, and expect. That's a saying. I like expect nothing, accept everything.
Okay.
So that reminds me of the cold plunge a little bit. But yeah, you guys got to come in.
It gets worse before it gets worse.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
It's only painful if you don't relax.
I wish I understood like the whole practice round ice baths and everything when I was in college, because we used to like after practice would guys with injuries would go into the cold tub in like the physical therapy room, but there was no one saying like, hey, like control your breath or
No, yeah, it was
like a sound bath
same for me. It was just purely
get in there and
injury
suffer
recovery.
with 3 other people sitting there.
Well, the only time they would encourage us to do it was if you were actually injured, not as just kind of a way to benefit. But you're supposed to do cold before workout, right, and then heat after.
That's like the general, scientific thing, and that's Huberman. I think he did some analyzed some studies or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you look closely at the studies, in my mind, I just do it. I do it for mental health. I'm not doing it for like, to get my 40-yard dash like 1/100th of a second faster. So I think, if you're trying to build muscle, like you don't want to go from like your body's gets inflamed for a reason. Sometimes it's not injured. Even that inflammation has a period. Yeah, it's like you're in severe pain. Okay, instead of taking the pain pill, take the ice bath. But like sure as heck, find out why you're in pain. Like it's not gonna fix your pain. It's gonna make it feel better. It is a form of connection and not of numbing, but it could make you feel good till you start abusing your body again, or maybe your body's trying to tell you something. So I feel like the cold after working out is because your body's having that natural inflammatory response, building muscle. So why interrupt that?
Well, yeah, and I mean the inflammation post workout it's a good thing. You're actually tearing your muscles in order to rebuild bigger. So if you're stopping that inflammation process, you're stopping the blood flow, all that excess blood flow to those areas.
Yeah.
Versus increasing blood flow with sauna or hot therapy post workout.
Yeah.
So and again,
there's like the ideal, it's like the ideal, and hey, if the only cold plunge you could get is, and you're doing it for stress, and it's an hour after you work out or 20 minutes, like do it.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like the stress relief or the vibrance you feel might outweigh the slight. So that's my only take on it. It's like I'm with it. Like if you want to wait, but I work out and I take a cold plunge whenever I can. I won't
Yeah.
do it like right from, if I have like a heavy strength training day, which is rare now,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go right from like the lifting weights right into the cold plunge.
Sure.
But I'll wait 20, 30 minutes and I feel like it doesn't really affect me,
Yeah.
but that's just me, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And like
Yeah.
you said, I mean, it's nuanced. Like most of the people who are listening to this, it's not like we're professional athletes that are trying to optimize to the finest degree, you know,
Yeah.
get that 1/100th of a second faster or whatever it is. It's more of overall, you know, mental health, wellness,
Yeah.
feeling better. So yeah, whatever works for you. Doing it versus not doing it. So do it whenever.
Have you guys been, how long have you been sauning, like, consistently?
So,
Obviously, you guys are both sauna. I mean,
Yeah, so I mean, I started sauning like maybe like probably about this time last year, more consistently, and a lot of it was like just maintaining weight for competition for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And then Luke built the sauna out here beginning of last summer, and so we've been going at least twice a week basically ever since then. You know, sometimes 3 times depending on what's happening,
heck yeah.
but pretty consistently about 2 times a week.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in his backyard he's going a little more than that. But yeah, I try and do it as much as I can. So a lot of, and you know, if I go to Vasa, like you were saying, you know, member of Vasa as well, I'll work out, and at the end of that, and I don't really do a whole lot of stretching afterwards. I'll just go get in the sauna, and it feels amazing.
Yeah. So great. I like to, or it's surprising, you know, we were talking about the health system now, and that's really a lot of why we started Optimyze. You know, I kind of sidetracked there for a bit, but we started Optimyze just because we saw all this, like, just such easy, natural things that you could do. You know, saunas, what are those? There's a recent study or a long-term study of like 70,000 people. It's like, you sauna 3 times more a week, you literally reduce your chance of death by 20%.
Yeah.
You know, 40% is like, you know,
mortality
yeah.
goes down, like drastically.
And so that's like a cool stat to throw around, but it's like, it's actually like if that was a drug, it would be touted as the biggest miracle drug. We've paid like billion. I mean, how much does it cost to develop some of these drugs? And now you have a natural way that costs you what, a few $1,000s or a membership at Optimyze or one of the sauna places. My mom back in Jersey, she's like, you know, she sees a sauna place, one of the new franchises that opened up by her. I'm like, Mom, join. Like, if you get in the sauna like 3 or 4 times, you know, she was like talking to me like, should I join? I know Optimyze is better. I'm like, Mom, join. Like, pay. Pay. Like, go there. So she's going like 3 times a week.
Awesome.
You know, so great for the cardiovascular system. Heart disease is like one of the leading causes of death.
Yep.
And you have, so seeing this movement, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Guys like RFK getting appointed, like, I feel like the tides are changing, you know, as a society.
Health, like the healthcare industry, it's hardly healthcare. You know, the podcast I was listening to today with Gary Brecka was talking about how the age that people are getting on pharmaceuticals is younger and younger and younger, and it's like just a whole system getting people hooked on being okay with pharmaceuticals. That's the answer when there's all these natural remedies that should be addressed first. You know, and I haven't gone through serious depression, but all the studies that are showing that exercise will do more than any of these SSRIs or other drugs that, you know, doctors like, yeah, take this, you'll feel better.
Yeah.
But they don't prescribe, hey, go for a walk every morning for 30 minutes or something like that. But it's cool. I'm hoping that, you know, that'll, like you're saying, that the tides seem to be changing, but it takes more and more people doing it, talking about it, you know, showing everybody else, like, hey, this is the way.
Yeah.
And education. I think education is the biggest thing, is people just don't know that it's actually beneficial.
Well, let me give you some kudos, Dana. I told you outside already, but the Banya has officially converted one of our friends into starting jiu-jitsu. So his first day is going to be tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
Hell yeah.
Never done a combat sport in his life, but he's just seen, you know, through, you know, he's a friend of the pod. He's been on the pod. He's gotten a glimpse into the culture we have, you know, of guys and girls at our gym, and you know, the physical benefits are there, and like that alone, like Dana said, helps depression. But then also by accident, you've got this network of friends all of a sudden, and you know, as far as your mental health goes, it's
Such
so valuable.
Such a
you know?
huge thing. You know, it's Jiu-Jitsu reminds me of cold plunging because there's a lot of resistance to it. It's not easy, like you know, and there's so many roadblocks, and really, I think especially Jiu-Jitsu. But yeah, you guys got a great community. I've known you guys for a bit, and then I've known John for a long time, and just like his passion for teaching, like he comes from that teaching background, so learning and breaking that down, and like you said, it's like we're supposed to move. You get in these high sympathetic dominant situations because you're training to stay calm under pressure. So a lot of the work I think that people can do with cold plunges, like it's the same training when you're stuck in a bad position. It's changing your initial primal reaction to panic, you know, and which a lot of us do.
The reaction to panic in the cold, or the response is to panic and get out of that water. And fighting that to say, nope, I'm gonna stay here.
I'm gonna stay right here. It's cool. You keep your logic. You always think straighter when you're not spiraled, and you know you lose all that logical thinking when you're in that triggered state. So I think for me, it's like being an athlete. And now looking up to you guys that are still in it and be like, I want it. Like I aspire to like get back into it. My fiance, that's a deal. She actually wants to do jiu-jitsu, but it's like gonna probably be female only. Like I'm like, you need a private first, because I'll like grapple with her and she'll freak out, or like it's like it's like ticklish or something. Like
my girlfriend just started. She needs training partners. She wants some that are just starting after her or right on the same level, that are athletic, that she, like. That way she can roll with. So tell her that there's some new women that are there that we can start with.
And I'm gonna come back. You know, I'm just gonna come in and really try to, you know, I'm trying to figure out. I'm gonna get some advice from you guys. Some of the guys have been training lately. Like, okay, what do? I just got to train my body too, not to like. I have instincts of like movement of wrestling, and then but I can't do them the same anymore. So I think it's just taking it slow. Maybe the first 2 weeks, don't even go live, or maybe go with anybody, I don't know, smaller than you or something, you know, just because I got to build up the pressure on this broken bone I have. So the tendons and the ligaments, you know, the bones don't hold up the body. You know, and the fascia does, but of course they have their place. So I think there's a way for it to be done. So I'm excited. You guys now.
I mean, I'll tell you this from a wrestler coming into it, and I came to this conclusion on my own. Wrestling is way more terrible for your body. Just like the explosive motions, pounding the knees, you know, all that stuff. Just abandon it and just lean into jiu-jitsu. And, you know, it's far less impactful on your body in a negative way. And then the other thing is like getting in that groove. Like for me, if I train less than 3 days a week, I like if I do like once a week, for example, I'm sore, I'm hurting, you know, my chance of being hurt's more. When I'm in that 3 to 4 day a week groove, I'm like, I feel I'm never really sore. You know, I never really get hurt, knock on wood. You know, I feel like the body just has that muscle memory and holds on to it, and just less of a chance to slip back into, you know, a more burnt out position.
For sure. A lot of people use the excuse of age, you know, and I don't use that. Part of me wants to say like, so you're 33, right? But like really it's the wear and tear over, you know, I tore my ACL, I broke this. So it's the wear and tear, but I think as you get older, you can be smarter and you could still train forever. You know, there's 80-year-old jiu-jitsu players. It's just the way you train.
You know Matt? He's a brown belt at our gym. Older grappler, used to wrestle.
I think I know.
And he still loves to wrestle.
Yes, yeah.
He's a good example.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. And he's real gentle.
Keeping it together.
And he's not going to mess around with you got to be careful. Like, new guys like that are, you know, I think I have to be careful just who I go with now, because I will get in. So, you know, I'm just not used to it. So I want to go back gradual, you know. And, but of course I did it for so many years. I have an ego and even, oh shit. Let me jump in real quick.
Yeah, me too. There we go. Oh, how long have we been going for, Dana? Did you look?
I didn't look. It's got to be at least an hour.
Yeah. I'm spinning.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Oh yeah.
And then wrap up.
Well, like perfect hack to keep the length right. You know, don't go too long, so you're like, not too hot now.
Yeah, exactly.
So give us your social media, kind of where people can find you, like the locations again.
Yeah. So Optimyze, OPTIMYZE.me, or Optimize me on Instagram. Jesse Moreng is my handle. So that's kind of, that's where those are the social. Check us out. We got 3 locations. One in Arcadia, 38th Street Indian School.
Nice. Yeah.
Tempe at Guadalupe and McClintock. North Phoenix, Paradise Valley at Thunderbird, 1 block west of the 51.
Okay.
32nd Street Thunderbird. And just a lot of good people coming together, all different walks of life. That's the coolest part about the community, is you get people of all ages. We have people, like, we got some of the, just I'm blown away. I go in there and I meet, like, a few months ago I met a couple. They're in their 60s and they swim with whales around the world, orchid whales, and they follow tribes of whales. And there's like tribes that are friendly, and there's like tribes you don't want to swim with, like they'll kill you.
Yeah.
And so
this orcas freak me out. They're too smart.
Oh man, they like communicate, and I'm like, you guys swim with whales? He's showing me like the last swim they did. There's a humpback, and they all communicate together, and they work like synergistically to eat the herring. And it's just wild. So anyway, I hear stories like that. It's just like so inspiring. Just connecting with people. I'm a bit of a loner. And like, with my family a lot, my 3 kids, and so it's my way to connect too with community, and just like Jiu-Jitsu for you guys, but it's another spot where people are getting together in a healthy way, supporting each other. So it's awesome. I can't wait for you guys to come in.
People call each other out like, "Where you been, Frank? Haven't seen you around the cold plunge in a while."
I don't know. I don't, but
we do that in Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, totally.
You miss one day, it's like, where you been, man?
Yeah. I gotta come to the. What days are you guys in there?
I'm a morning guy. I usually do Tuesday through Friday.
Okay.
And I'll be in and out Monday through Friday. Just depends. Sometimes I'll go to night classes. I've been trying to get more 6 a.m. classes, so I go to a lot of them. But usually the mornings now.
Nice. You got the kids in?
No, they're not ready. Yeah, they can't listen.
Yeah.
We tried it and it didn't take.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I got a couple overdue thank yous. First, Daniel Eli, thanks for bringing some wood. We've been using that out on our bonfire out there, so thank you, brother. And then I don't think I gave a proper thank you to our last guest, Nick Dante, owner of Arcadia Meat Market. Super cool dude. He hooked us up with a bunch of meats and salts and cool stuff from his shop. Super generous. And he, like Optimyze, 2 great businesses that are helping people, improve their lives. So get out to both Optimyze and Arcadia Meat Market. Support these guys. Great businesses, moving us in the right direction. So just wanted to let everybody know.
Absolutely.
We gotta come together and support these type of businesses because they're really important, and we need more of them here.
For sure.
Heck yeah. If we can support you guys, spread the word, if you got listeners that have local business that support people's health, whether it's like food or whatever, we love having those products in our centers. We have a small retail, or at least promoting them, We got like community boards, and so if there's any way to connect further, you guys got any ideas, keep them flowing, come in.
Absolutely.
I'll see you guys in Jiu-Jitsu. It'll be soon.
Heck yeah. Good.
Yeah,
Glad to hear that. Yeah, we'll be no doubt be running into some interesting people and just keep connecting this web of like-minded people. You know, it's so fun to be around people that are, improving themselves. Like that alone is when I finished wrestling, I kind of took like a 10-year break from anything physical and just focused on work, and I didn't realize how much I missed that. It took me that time off of being around those type of people to realize how good it is for you mentally, to hang around people that are just on a good path,
Yeah. It's what do they say? You sometimes you attract, the same, and then we get in these ruts if you're around a lot of people that are just focused on the negative, or maybe, we've all had those thoughts, but it brings you in that direction. So it's like, surround yourself with people that support your visions, support your goals. You can you can share those things with, or you can, it's not about numbing out and, disconnecting and going to the, like it's just, there's a lot of people get together a lot in a numbing out type of way. There's fewer places, but now there's more spots, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, in addition to Luke's thank you, thank you to all the listeners as well. We've got nothing but positivity from everybody saying how much they love listening to the podcast. We got another guest here, Everett, jumping in here. But yeah, thank you as well to all the listeners, because it's been nothing but support, so we appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Negativity to come towards us, so I want to hear some
yeah
kind of fun.
How do we improve it? We don't know what we're doing wrong.
Can somebody give us some shit?
Well, you gotta start saying some controversial stuff,
Yeah,
I know a lot of things I could say right now but there's what do they say, if you don't have enemies, you're not I forget the saying, right, I don't know, but I take that with a grain of salt. I don't know if that's look at that.
Batteries are dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of things we can come together on, though. A lot of people from all walks, we share a lot. Share a lot in common. So, but yeah, this health movement, man, you guys are on the same. It's awesome. Thank you guys for having me. It was the best.
Absolutely.
When I heard about this show, I was like, wait, he's got a podcast they do in the sauna. And Tanya, she works at Optimyze. Yeah, this guy Dana was in. I'm like, yeah, I know Dana. She's like, yeah, he's got this podcast, and she shows me, I'm like, wait, it's in a sauna. Yeah,
right,
I want to go right away. This is what a lot of my meetings are in a sauna.
Nice.
Our hiring process, it's like, okay, we do a informal phone interview, and then it's like, meet me for a session, and I go through. Or one of the other, my other co-owner, we go through it, and you're getting the cold people. Water, and you're gonna
see what they can get through. Yeah, that's cool.
So this is
can I next time I have to hire somebody, can I bring them into Optimyze and take them through the circuit, see what they're made of?
Yeah, I can help out. I'll see.
See if they're mentally weak or not. Yeah. Dude, that's a great idea, actually.
We just got a sound bed. You guys are gonna have to check out. It's in our little classroom. Just got it in there today.
What is a sound bed?
So, it's a vibrational bed platform, nice, comfortable. Think of a yoga mat, but soft bed material, but raised, and it's got a compartments yay high, a couple feet, and then that's the chamber, and it's built with an app with certain programs of guided meditations, I would say. And so they take you through, some of them are take you through storms and parts of, and you feel the bed can vibrate at different levels. So it can hit your legs, it can hit your knees, it can hit your leg, and it goes deep in the whole body. So it gives you this deep vibrational feelings, and takes you on a little journey.
Damn, I want to.
It's pretty dope. It's really cool. I had it in my house for a couple of weeks, and I was sad to see. I was like,
product. Don't want to take it over.
Yeah, product testing. Yep.
Nice.
Is this even in the wheelhouse of adding a? What were we just talking about?
The sensory deprivation.
Sensory deprivation.
Okay. I love them. I was doing float tanks years ago for a while, and found a lot of benefit from them. We're not ready to get into the maintenance of that.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, that's its own whole own thing.
Yeah, if somebody came on board on the team and knew a lot about it, right now it's just drain. Yeah, it seems too much. We don't. We, as we grow, we're evolving. Our third location is a little bit larger. We haven't laid out the way we want it, but
it takes a lot of space for that too. To have that whole
tank.
Yeah. Plus, just it has to be basically completely enclosed, so that way you get no light and whatnot. So
yeah, drainage. You'd have to build out a whole room. So I'm a big fan though. So we try to partner. We partner with some of the local float place. Try to refer people there and vice versa. Same with IV places. So yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. Frying with us. I'm feeling it, man.
This is a great sauna. I mean, this is a nice long sauna. Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Inviting me. It's awesome to chat with good people and connect and let's keep
bring down our all-cause mortality.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
All right, well, cool. Everybody go check out Optimyze, and we'll catch you on the mats very soon, right?
Yeah, on the mats or on Optimyze. Yeah.
Boom.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.